Will India talk to the Taliban? A few years back, this question would have met with an emphatic response, a resounding no. India's position has been clear and consistent. Talks and terror do not go hand in hand. But that may not apply now, at least in this case. To explain this, let me borrow from what India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has said about being tied by the hesitations of history. It can be counterproductive, he said. Obsessing about policy consistency makes little sense in an ever-changing world. It was said in a different context, but it applies to the Afghan situation too. Afghanistan, you see, is in a flux. A country with immense strategic potential and obvious security challenges for India. How does New Delhi navigate this flux? Minister Jaishankar is visiting Kuwait. And on his way, he stopped by in Qatar, a country that has been instrumental in the making of the Afghan peace deal. India says this stopover was to thank Qatar for its pandemic support. There was a meeting with the National Security Advisor of Qatar. Did this also have to do with India's reported engagement with the Taliban? It's hard to confirm, but we can safely say that India is exploring options in a post-war Afghanistan where the Taliban will be a key player. To understand India's challenges and options, we must first understand what is happening in Afghanistan. What is this flux we are talking about? America has pulled out 50% of its troops from Afghanistan. They're aiming for a full withdrawal by September 11th. Meanwhile, violence and terror attacks continue unabated. In the last 24 hours, Afghanistan has witnessed two back-to-back attacks. First, 10 mine cleaners were shot dead in cold blood. Then a chopper of the Afghanistan military was shot down. The Taliban is being blamed for both these attacks. America was banking on Pakistan to tame the Taliban, but right now it is not making much headway with Islamabad as well. Reports say America's request for military bases in Pakistan has been denied, and Prime Minister Imran Khan has reportedly rejected a meeting with the CIA chief. At whose behest? What is happening in Afghanistan and how is the American withdrawal playing out? Here's a report.
These are the victims of a cold-blooded assault. 110 mine cleaners from a charity were attacked in Baghlan. They were in their camps when the terrorists entered and opened fire. Reports say the terrorists went from bed to bed and fired on innocent civilians. At least 10 died. 16 more were hurt. The Afghan government is blaming the Taliban for the attack. The group has denied any involvement, but it remains in the dock for recent attacks in which scores of civilians and Afghan troops have died. The Baghlan province is just one of the areas where the Taliban has become active in recent weeks. The group has seized territories and attacked the Afghan military to take over their outposts. On Wednesday, the Taliban shot down a military chopper in the Maidan Wardak. 3 people on board were killed. The Taliban's advances comes as American troops are leaving Afghanistan. Half of the American forces stationed here have left. 13,000 pieces of equipment have been shipped out, and 6 American facilities have been turned over to the Afghan Ministry of Defense. It is believed that America could complete the full withdrawal as early as July. But American departure has also triggered fears that the Taliban could overrun the Afghan government and try to take control of the country. America doesn't want to leave Afghanistan defenseless. Reports say the US wants to set up bases in Pakistan for intelligence gathering and counter-terrorism operations. CIA Director William Burns is said to have made a secret visit to Islamabad, but the chief of America's top spy agency suffered humiliation. Not only did Pakistan deny America's request for bases, Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan refused to meet the CIA director, who had sought a meeting. That's what Pakistani officials are telling the local press. The American side is telling a different story. A report says that Pakistan made a big demand from the US in return for hosting American bases. Pakistan wanted the power to sign off on American operations, meaning if the CIA or the American military want to hit a target inside Afghanistan, they should first run the plan by Pakistan. By all indications, This has been denied. In a letter to American lawmakers, US President Joe Biden said that America has achieved its objectives in Afghanistan. But it can't take its eye off the prevailing terrorist threats. So, what's the plan to bring peace? Only Washington knows, if they have one, that is. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.